Now there might not be a lot here at Roydon, but I have been here quite a few times in my life. The first time being an accidental visit. Now I was a little boy the first time I came to Roydon, and back then I had family who lived in Broxbourne that I would visit on the train. But strangely, the train wouldn't let me off. I would hold the button, I would press the button to open the doors. It didn't want to open. So we accidentally came one stop further to Roydon. And I remember thinking this was a really strange, random, rural place. It was probably the first staggered platform station that I'd ever visited. And had to go back to Broxbourne on the next train. And it would take until 2021 for me to return here. And in that year, I would be here several times. And that is because back then, I would look at select areas only to do walks and adventures in, and I would come up with a list in just them areas. So when I was looking to do another walk, I would tend to kind of visit the same areas again and again. So I did a walk in the Lee Valley that then took me along the very beginning of the River Stort, which is a tributary of the Lee, to here at Roydon. And then a few months later, I'd return to walk the Stort even further to Bishop's Stortford. But also, that year, I took a countryside walk from across the fields from the end of the Central Line around Thaden Boys and Epping through here and to St Margaret's, which links up with another video I did fairly recently on the Hertford East branch line. It didn't end there though, because I would also do a walk in 2022 from here to Harlow and then back along the Stort again. But it's been quite some time since my last visit, so this time I'm off on a Saturday Walkers Club route instead to Sawbridgeworth, as I've covered the east and west and southern sections from here, but I've not gone north. And the Stort at this point is actually acting as a border between Essex and Hertfordshire. And when I did that Harlow walk before, it was a very, very overgrown footpath. So I'm hoping on the other side of the border in Hertfordshire, we're not going to have that problem today. This is an intriguing start to the walk right opposite Roydon Station. A set of abandoned gatehouses, essentially, which must lead down to some sort of stately home. And we will, hopefully, see it. And here we go, our first footpath of the day towards Brigham Home Farm. And you can see there is a little Hertfordshire logo on there as well, just to prove that we're not in Essex. So I'm actually starting with a section of the Harcomlow Way today, which, as the logo on there suggests, is a figure of 8 walk from Harlow to Cambridge. That's about 141 miles long. I've definitely come across this long distance footpath before, but I actually can't quite recall where. However, I'd like to come off it straight away, just because I think if I go through here, this is the track that will lead down to the stately home. And this is a very bizarre path, because you have a burnt out car there, you have a trampled down fence, and it looks like they've tried to stop people going in, but realistically I can get around that. Well, there it is, Brigham's house, and it does look like it's in a disused state currently. It was built back in 1720 and was a hotel until 2006. Until that time as well, the grounds around here would have been a golf course, and then in 2010 it did reopen as a wedding venue, but they didn't really have the planning permission, so closed almost immediately afterwards, and it's been closed ever since. Wow, I can get right up to it. That's quite impressive. Last time I came across an abandoned stately home like this was in Bury St Edmunds. There's cameras positioned around the building. There's signs on it saying guard dogs, but it doesn't seem like anybody's here. I'm surprised I can come right up to it. It's not like there were any signs from the Harcomlow Way saying don't come this way or that it's private or anything. It was just a fenced off track from the station really, but you can get onto the track still. Okay, I have set off an alarm. I just wanted to come and have a look at it. I wasn't going to go in anyways, even if I could. I think that's probably a sign I should get back to the public footpath now. Oh yeah, that camera was flashing. Yeah, you can see it. That's what caught me. What a bizarre place. I wonder if they're going to do anything with it. I mean, there's a little bit of scaffolding up there. I don't know what all this is. I wonder then if I can now go this way around to get back to the public footpath rather than backtrack all the way. Or will I be blocked off by going this way? I might give it a try anyways. It looks like there's a possible locked gate in a house up there. Maybe shouldn't draw attention to myself. I think we'll just go back the safe way, because at least I know I can get back to the footpath this way. So this lovely little pond here was in the way between the stately home and the public footpath, so I wouldn't have been able to cut right across like I was hoping I might be able to. I was just thinking to myself that I must be looking towards the buildings of Harlow in that direction, and then I looked to the left and spotted this. There's a memorial here to two soldiers who lost their lives when their plane from RAF Hunsdon crashed near to this spot in 1943. I came across another memorial like this quite recently up on the Marston Vale line. It's really quite sad because it was just a flying test as well. And what a beautiful location too. So this little patch of woodland here is known as Square Spring, which suggests that there must be springs in the area. And it makes me wonder whether you can find the source of a river in there or not. So following on from my last walk where I got back into geocaching, I've got the app out again this time, and there is quite a few around here. This one, the clue was tree crevice. I've just managed to find it. It's really tucked in there. Stinging nettles, there's a little branch in the way. I think that's it though. I'm really trying not to sting myself. Yeah, that's definitely it. I like that there's a little information leaflet in here about geocaching. If you found this container by accident. Has anyone ever found a geocache by accident? I can't say I ever have. So the other geocache is just over near them trees. And there's another one here, right beside the road. It seems to be on this side of the road. So I'm wondering if it's near or at the base of one of these poles, but it doesn't really look like it might be. I thought it could be down in that bit, but I don't think so. There's no hint for this one, so I don't quite know exactly what I'm looking for, but I can't seem to find it at the base of any of these. So I was over by them fences and I spotted a sign for the Harkham Low Way pointing in that direction, and I thought, yes, that must be me. But then weirdly, it backtracks on itself, comes out across this field, and there's a sign for it there. And even more bizarrely, I have that plotted on my walk. Why I, or the Harkham Low Way, didn't just take this path that skirts around the edge of this field, I have no idea. Either way though, I found a little bench there that I took a quick break on. But I've got to get moving again now because I've gotten quite chilly because the sun has disappeared and the wind has arrived. Whoa, look at all of this. I was wondering whether it was all spider webs or something. I mean, I do see a fly stuck in there, but actually it's crawling with little caterpillars. Oh, there's a plane up there, wow. Now there is an RAF Sawbridgeworth nearby. I don't think the old site at, was it Hunsdon, still exists today. I've been seeing that bird flying around a lot. Don't know my birds that well. I want to say it's a red kite, but I have no idea. So I've now made it up to Moat Wood, and yes, there is indeed a moat down there, but I couldn't really find what it was protecting. Potentially just some local farmhouse or something. So it's quite hard to spot, because there's actually not a whole lot to it. There's an ever so slight trail down here, and there it is, the waters of the moat. If it was some farmhouse, it's kind of hard to believe that someone's entire livelihood was right here, and there's absolutely nothing remaining of it apart from this historic moat, just the note that there was something here. I thought I'd just quickly take a look into the woods just to see if there was anything here. And I mean, this is an intriguing cleared space. There could have potentially been a little house here or something. I don't think I've quite seen telephone pole wires look like that before. There's just nobody here. I've not seen a single person since Roydon, just trotting all the way across these fields. Oh, I don't know where the Harcombe Low Way signs have gone, but I've met up with a couple of other long distance footpaths, the Hertfordshire Way and the Greenwich Meridian Trail. So the Meridian line is somewhere around here. Got another geocache on my hands. It's a good thing I looked at the app. I almost actually missed this one, but it's just off the footpath and the hint is base of tree. It looks like there's a snake in there. Oh wow, look, there's even a snail on it. Feels weird. I know it's a fake snake, but even, you know, finding it in nature, I was still somewhat hesitant to touch it. And after just saying that I've seen nobody since Roydon, I've emerged from the trees. There's a couple of people behind me. They're probably wondering, what on earth was he doing in there? So here we have the River Ash, which is a little tributary of the Lee. And we do actually have a bit of a walk alongside it later, although I'm now considering whether I should actually do that or not. It's very clear. It must be a chalk stream. I'm running quite close to the River Ash, which is down there in that valley, lies an abandoned railway line. The bridge is an obvious giveaway here. So this would have been a railway from St Margaret's to Buntingford, and would have existed from 1863 to 1964. And I think just up there, there's an old station. In fact, before we get to the station, at the base of this footpath sign, I think there's another geocache. Oh, it is. I didn't know if it was or not at first. So you don't go far up from the bridge at all to find the old station, and you would almost miss it. This seems like it's the only obvious spot that this is an old platform. Wow, this might be one of the most overgrown abandoned stations I've ever seen. I think just around that corner the old station cottage is there. So this would have been the site of Mardock Station, and I have actually been to the end of this line before in Buntingford in my first ever video, so it's nice to now be on an intermediate part of the line, and I think I'm going to stick to it. There is a diversion of the SWC route today which misses out Mardock Station here. Of course, I didn't want to do that, but you could have a shorter walk if you were to take it. But I am going to go for a slightly more direct route because the SWC walk follows part of the River Ash from here. And actually, I can see the River Ash just down there. But the disused railway pretty much runs adjacent to it. And of course, it's more a direct route because here the river is very naturally free-flowing, so the paths are quite twisty, whereas the railway would be quite straight. Plus, there's some geocaches along the trail. I'm going to go hunt for some of them as well. I won't dwell too much on me geocaching along the disused railway. I will just quickly point out that I found another one at the base of the tree down there. Nice. Took me a minute to find that geocache. I was hunting down here. I was getting distracted by the chalky stones and all that. That kind of, I guess, gives the game away that the River Ash might be a chalk stream. So it's here where the SWC walk comes out onto the disused railway. And that's clear because the River Ash is flowing underneath it. Well, there's the confirmation I needed. The River Ash is a unique chalk stream, one of only 260 in the world. Abandoned railway, River Ash, geocache. So I have actually walked up to the next station on the line, which doesn't really exist at all anymore because it has now become a depot. But the station was called Widford. Okay, I was about to say a lot of things, like how this is the railway bridge over the River Ash. That must be Widford Church up there, surely, if I'm near the station right now. And I was going to say that I'm going to now head along part of the River Ash instead of the railway, which actually would take me across a field of cows. But then I spotted that there's an extra bridge next door, and this must be the railway one because it looks like there's a couple of sleepers there. And is that possibly some rail? I feel I have to take a closer look, so I might just hop this barbed wire fence if I can, and then climb up there. Actually, that's a good place to place my foot. Okay, well, it's not old railway track, it's just the base of the bridge, which is no longer here. I am bouncing rather precariously along here, but I want to see if I can get to them old sleepers. Okay, again, it's not actually old sleepers, it's just more of the base of the old bridge. But I'm glad I came to have a look. That one over there was staring me down. Oh, hello. Hello. How you doing? Don't follow me. Hello. I just want to get to the stile, which I'm intrigued by because I don't think it actually goes anywhere. I'm fairly certain there's a geocache underneath that tree, but the River Ash is in the way. Oh, okay, that stile just takes me to a path on the other side of the field of cows, which I guess I feel a little bit safer on. Oh, there's a ford here. How shallow is that though? Because I could walk across. No, it's going to be deep though, surely. Oh, that's definitely deep! Okay, we're not doing that. What on earth? You look like Miles, the East Midlands Railway mascot. You're creepy. I'm a little confused here. This says it's private. It is chained up, so I wouldn't be able to open this anyways. But this is the SWC route. It's shown as that on the map. I would have thought this was a public footpath. I mean, I can't go that way. I think it's some sort of sewage works over there or something. Not really sure what I do now. It doesn't really seem like there's another way around. Oh. If I had just walked up slightly more towards the gate, I would have actually found the public footpath. I was stood there for a good 2 minutes being like, oh no, it's shown as a public footpath on maps. Strava heat maps showed that people have walked this way. Why is it closed for me? I'm an idiot. I was going to get my camera out in a moment to say that I'm really liking having this woodland path, because I thought most of today would just be the countryside. And I spotted this to the left. And at first I thought it was a pillbox, but it looks quite big. But it must be some sort of war defence structure. I don't even know if I'm really on it anymore. But it's here in the woods where we essentially leave the courses of the River Ash and the disused railway behind, as I start to head east back towards the existing railway line and Sawbridge Worth station. Oh, well, there's no directions on this presumably footpath sign here. I was going to say it was nice to do a section of the Hertfordshire way as well as the Harcomlow way today, but there's no sign for it. Oh, never mind. I'm still on the Hertfordshire way now that I'm crossing more fields. Well, this is a random thing to stumble across. This must mean I've come across the attraction on this walk, which the SWC website advertises. So this is the Henry Moore Studios and Gardens. Henry Moore himself was a sculpture artist. He lived in Hampstead in London, but his house got bombed during World War II, so he moved out to this little village called Perry Green and set up his studios here, and a lot of his artwork can still be seen because this area has now been opened up as a little bit of an attraction. There's a field over there with more of his work. I think that might be within the paid grounds, but this one here, in a little picnic area, can be seen for free, which is great. Well, Perry Green does look like a rather delightful little village. Why not move out here if your house in London was bombed? From here, though, I think I've got a good 4.5 miles or so all the way to Sawbridgeworth Station. I think it would just be across fields in the rain. There was a slight chance for light rain in the afternoon, and to be honest, there was a chance all week for rain. It's pretty much rain nearly every single day anyways, so I was just going to have to embrace it if I wanted to come out for a walk this week, and that's just what I'm going to have to do. So I'm going to put my head down. Unless there's anything interesting along the way, I kind of doubt there will be. I guess I'll see you in Sawbridgeworth. That has actually been a pretty decent walk over to Sawbridgeworth. It hasn't rained a whole lot. I've been under the Stansted Airport flight path the entire time, and I'm approaching the town now by this new development where they've built a path there and then just entirely stopped, and I just had to jump this little ditch, which I've just seen on the map is actually labelled the Sawbridgeworth Brook. I've been to Sawbridgeworth before, I'll explain that in a moment, but I've not come into the town, and it looks quite nice, so I thought I'd walk down Bell Street. Double water pump. That's unusual. I say it still works, of course it doesn't, but you can still move it. Well, here we have the River Stort at the other end of the walk. And it is still, up until this point actually, acting as the border between Essex and Hertfordshire. The SWC walk does actually bring you south of the town so that you can finish your walk alongside the River Stort, but because I've done that before, I thought I would head through the town instead. And here is Sawbridgeworth Station, which when I walked the River Stort from Roydon to Bishop Stortford, I came off of the towpath to take a break here at the station. So I have been here before, but I've not used it before. And Sawbridgeworth is actually the last station I need on the route between London and Cambridge, so it colours in a nice little part of the map for me. It even has the old school signs still, though I do need a photo of Harlow Mill to add to the collection. I used that back in 2019 with my cousin to visit like an inflatable outdoor water park which is nearby. I failed to get a photo of it when on the way back from an Audley End walk last year, so I have to get one this time. Before I leave you, I'll just talk tickets real quick, because rather strangely, I got mine today from Theobald's Grove, which might feel like a bit of a random station, one stop south of Cheshunt on the London Overground, because they offer super off-peak tickets on a Saturday, but only to select stations, one of them being Whittlesford Parkway, which is up that Audley End way, and we did use it on that walk. The ticket with a rail card cost £6.85, but if I was to get that ticket from Cheshunt or just a stop either side of Whittlesford Parkway, it would be almost double. Even from Theobald's Grove to here at Sawbridgeworth, it's more expensive because it doesn't have a super off-peak variant, just the off-peak ticket is available. So using the "you are allowed to break your journey wherever" technique, you can get your ticket to Whittlesford Parkway, don't travel there, and make your journey for cheaper to any of the intermediate stops. Even if you got a single from Theobald's Grove to Roydon and then one back from here at Sawbridgeworth to Theobald's Grove, it would still be 10p more. So thank you for watching that walk today. It felt like quite a long one, and it feels weird to be back at this station a good 5 years after doing the River Stort walk. Finally get to tick it off. And as always, there'll be more walks coming soon, so subscribe if you don't want to miss them. I'll see you then. Oh, it doesn't want to focus on the poor fella. Focus on him.